Hello guys, welcome to this live stream. So basically in this live stream we will talk about that how to paginate the data inside your Next.js 14 kind of an application. So this is happening on the client side guys. So we are basically built out a Next.js component here. You can see my application is running on localhost 3000, and if you load the page here, a bunch of data is displaying here. So 5 items, 5 names are displayed on the single page. So we have the pagination buttons out there, which is previous button, next buttons. So according to the data that you have supplied guys, the static data in an array, 3 pages have been constructed. You will see that the previous button has been disabled because this is the first page. The next button is there. We can navigate to the second page and third page. If I go navigate to the second page guys, the next set of entries will be displayed right here. If I can go to the previous button to get to the previous page, and just notice the URL parameters guys. This is the most important thing. We are having page number 1 and we are displaying per page 5. So this is the 2 parameters which are very much necessary guys in any sort of pagination that you are building. So these parameters are seeing on the URL here guys. So we are on the first page and we are displaying 5 items right here. If I navigate to the second page, this value will be increased to 2 here. You will see that. And again, we are displaying the next set of 5 items. If I navigate to the third page, only one name is present right here. And the next button, you can now see it is disabled right here. We can't click it. And I can now go to previous, next. So I will show you guys how to basically do this pagination inside your Next.js 14 application. So this really will be having a very simple project, but through this you will be getting to know very important concepts in Next.js, how we can do the pagination. So let's start the tutorial guys. If you want the full source code, the link is given in the description of the video. You can get the full clone of the project of this project. The link is given in the description. You can purchase the full source code by going to the description of the video. You can purchase it from PayPal in United States dollar, or you can go to stripe.com and purchase it in Indian rupees. So this is my project guys. This is basically the directory structure. We have this component pagination control and we are doing it inside JSX. This is not mandatory. You can even do this in TypeScript or JavaScript. This is just my preference. And this is the main page.js file, which will be in the index route. So now, first of all, let me delete all this and start from scratch. And inside page.jsx, let me also delete everything. We will have a simple functional component of React. I will simply say hello world here. So basically, if you refresh now, guys, hello world will be shown to you. You can see that. So hello world is showing right here. So now guys, in order to start the pagination process, it is very simple. You need to first of all declare some data in this server side component right here. At the top, we can declare some data, an array of items. You can also take this data guys in a real life scenario. This data will be coming from a database or any sort of data source. But here we will take static data here, just an array of names. So you can see that. So let me declare the names right here. So you can basically take this data guys from a database, or you can do this anywhere else. MongoDB database, MySQL database, totally depends upon you how you want to do this. So in this simple tutorial, I am just showing you how you can take this data very easily. So we will take some set of data here, a set of names out there. So that's why I'm doing like this. So after declaring this data guys, you can see we have 11 names out there. And now we just need to do pagination right here. You can even take multiple names, thousands of names. It can be a list, CSV file, any file. So I'm just taking a very simple example. So after that guys, what we need to do, we can call this component as, let's suppose, functional component. Let me call this as home. And the very basic concept will be, guys, basically we will get this passed this data that you see right here, data variable. We will be passing it as a server side prop inside this. So here basically it will take an object here which will be of search params. So basically whatever you see inside the browser, guys, so here we will provide here our localhost 3000 question mark, all these two parameters that I showed you, page number and per page. So we will be getting this automatically passed inside the server side component inside search parameters. So this will be automatically passed, and then after that inside this functional component we will basically get the page number value, which will be search params, and we will get the page number value. You can call this as anything, but I am just calling the page number. If the page number is not supplied by default, if you open the application for the very first time, then the default value for page number will be 1. And also per page, how many items you need to display on a single page in the pagination. We will basically get this value using the per page param. If this is not supplied, guys, we will have a constant value. Let's suppose I want to display 5 items like this. So these are string values, guys. You need to surround it in single quotes. You can't write like this one. This will be error. So just write in single quotes. So after that, guys, we just need to calculate the total items, their length. So we will basically calculate data.length. So we have calculated the, you can see this is a array. So this is a length property. So this comes out to be 11. So we have the length property inside JavaScript to get the length of the array. So here, guys, we will basically calculate the start index and the end index for the pagination. So we will convert the page number to number by this number method, and -1. This is simple formula, guys, and then we will multiply it by the number value. We will typecast it to number and per page. And similarly, we will get the end index by start plus the multiplied per page. This will gives us the end index. So after you do this, guys, there is a function in JavaScript which is slice, specifically made for arrays. So we will slice the array using the start and the end index. So this will give you the array that needs to be displayed. So for displaying the items, guys, it's very easy. We just need to say return. So whatever we can return right here. So inside this, we will basically have our entries. Basically, if you see, it's an array, so we can use the map function. For each entry, we can simply say here paragraph. We can provide a key parameter here, which is entry, and then entry like this inside curly brackets. So if you see now, guys, if I refresh now, so we just need to replace here export default home because it's a home component. So you will see Devon, you can see 5 names are displaying right here, top 5 names which are there in the list, because we have put a restriction. If you see, if the page number is not supplied, if you provide the page number, uh, let's suppose I provide this value per page, I want to display here 8 items. So now you can see 8 items will be displayed because we have explicitly put per page value, if you see in the search parameter, is equal to 8. So now we have 8 items displayed: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 items are displayed. So you can just control, guys, whatever value that you provide to, the 2 values will be there. So we need to now do it dynamically inside our Next.js application. We need to display the page numbers as well so that we can navigate in the pagination. So after using this for loop, guys, what we need to do right here, we need to basically make a separate component. We will put a break tag here, and we will make a components folder. You can make it inside your Next.js application and make a component called as pagination controls.jsx. So this will be a functional component. Just do it like this. Now we can simply include this component like this, pagination controls. That's all. So basically, guys, this is included from the pagination controls component /dot/ components pagination controls. So if you refresh, this will be seeing right here. So instead of this, we now need to display the page numbers. So for doing this, guys, inside this component, we now need to, so now this will be a client component, guys, because we need to use useState hook. So just make it use client. So if you write it at the top of any component, this will become a client side component. By default in Next.js, all components are server side, but you need to explicitly set use client in order to make a component client side. So after that, guys, what we need to do is that we now need to, we will get these two items whenever we call this component. Total items, we will has next page and has previous page. So these three values we will provide it to this component whenever we call this, guys. So right here, when we are calling this component, guys, we will provide these three parameters to this component. First is has next page. So this will be coming through end if end value is greater than the data.length. Has previous page if start property is greater than 0. And lastly, to total items, which will be data dot length, or you can say total items, because we stored that inside our total item. So these three parameters we are passing, guys, to this component. So we are getting it using this one. So after doing this, guys, what we need to do, we now need to use router, guys, in order to basically do the pagination. So here we will basically say router. We will use the use router in Next.js. It will be imported from next router, and then we will say search params, use search params. We will use this as it's a client side component. We can use all these hooks which are provided in Next.js, guys. Use state, use router, use search params, because we put this line at the top, use client. If I just delete this line, then what will happen? It is saying that you have a server component that imports next router. You can't use it. So we now need to uh, put this line at the top. This is most important line. So after doing this, guys, we now need to automatically get the page number again by using search params dot get page number. If it is not defined, then this will be 1. And similarly per page, if search params dot get page, if it is not defined, then we will set it to 5. So after doing this, guys, we will basically first of all show some pagination controls. For the pagination controls, guys, we will have a button. So this button, basically we will give attributes to this button. So disable, if the button will be disabled, guys, only if the value of has previous page is false. And if you see, guys, basically if I refresh now, it is saying that use router not mounted. If I see, guys, what is the problem here? Use router. Okay, sorry, this use router hasn't been mounted, guys. That's the problem, I think. If I delete this line for now, you will see a button right here, guys. Okay, we just need to put a placeholder there, pagination. So now this button is disabled, guys, because we are already displaying here fifth page. So this button is disabled, that you can see, guys. So this has previous page is false, comes out to be false. We just need to give some more properties here. So let me just put router here like this. And we just need to basically have two buttons right here, guys. First button will be for the previous and then next. So this button that I talked about will be previous. Just format the document here. The next button will be next, and disable property will be once again set to the conditional. So it will be depending upon the has next. If it is false, then the button will be disabled. So both these buttons we will basically assign an on click to the event handler to these buttons on click. So whenever you click the buttons guys, we will basically bind a function which will be handle previous page click, and this on click we will say on click handle next page click. So now we need to define these two functions guys. So first is handle previous page click, and then we will have handle next page click. So these two functions we have defined guys, and now what we need to do is that we now need to previous page, we will basically calculate typecast to number page -1, and we will compare here. If previous page is greater than or equal to 1, in that case we will basically use router push, and we will push this, we'll use template string here, question mark page is equal to previous page is equal to uh, and per page will be equal to per page, like this. That's all guys that you need to do. And similarly for the next page click, what we will do, next page we will basically typecast the number. We will say instead of -1 we will say +1 to navigate to the next page, and then again we will say router push, and this time question mark page is equal to the next page value, and per page will be equal to per page. So if you see guys, now basically it is saying next router was not mounted. Let me see guys what is the problem here. Okay, sorry guys, that was the problem. So we just need to basically uh, use router from the next navigation. Sorry, this needs to come using next navigation, not next router. So it also contains this route use router. So we need to use this one, use router from next navigation. So just keep in mind. So if you refresh now, if you see guys, we are displaying the first 5 items. If you see per page value is equal to 5. If I click next, so now the page becomes the second page, and now we are displaying the next 5 items. If you see, now we have the previous button. Now we can't go to the previous button because this is the first page, next page. So this is the last page. We can't go to the next page. So now the next button is disabled. So we have basically become made a pagination guys. So now we just need to show the page numbers as well inside the next and previous. So how we can show them? It's very easy. Basically after this, after this previous button that you added, in between this we just need to add a div section, and inside this we will say page divided by math.sil. This function I will use, and total items divided by number we will typecast to per page. So now you can see, basically if you refresh now, so page number needs to be divided by total items, like this. So math.sil total items. Okay, total, I just not close the parentheses here guys. The total items divided by number page, and then close the parentheses like this. So that's it. So now this will give the floating point number, and it will round off. We are divided. So now you can see if you refresh now, we are on the second page. If I press next, so we are on the last page. Previous, so we are on the first page. So this is now your pagination, guys. So we just now need to add some CSS. If you want to, we can basically make a separate file for this. We can simply say here so inside your styles folder, guys, you can basically make a pagination control.module.css file. I have just made this file which have a very simple CSS code, guys, for the so I can include them inside our pagination controls by using a simple import statement that import styles from components, sorry, styles dot pagination module dot css. So now we can add these classes, guys, to the elements. So the classes you can simply add if you add the this a class to it. Class name styles dot, just need to add it like this, parentheses, sorry, curly bracket styles dot this class pagination controls that I added on my CSS file. You can basically get the full source code, guys. The link is given in the description of the video. You can purchase it. So just add this class, so it will basically navigate the buttons in the next center of the screen, and then we just need to assign the classes to the buttons as well. So styles dot pagination button. Similarly, this also. So if you just refresh now, guys, basically our buttons will also get styled. So it is saying that pagination button. Okay, this sorry guys, I this needs to be class name, not styles. So buttons is styled, guys. You will see. You can go to the next page. And lastly but not least, we now need to also give class to this series of items as well. So this will be styles dot pagination numbers. So pagination numbers. So this is basically the CSS file, guys. So what I need to do is that we just need to add some styles here, which is styles. First property will be, you can add this inside the home file, guys. You can basically go to styles, or you can make use of page.module.css file, and you can simply include this file inside your page.jsx by simply importing page.module.css and simply write a simple items class. So margin top 25 pixel display flex direction column, justify content center, align items center. So this will make all the items in the center position. So just give this class like this, to this class name items styles dot item. So sorry, so this will be styles dot item. So now the items will show in the center of the screen, guys. It's completely responsive. It is looking good on the mobile phone as well. You can navigate to the second page, third page. You can have as many items as you want, guys. So it will calculate more pages if you have more items. So you can have as many items as you want. If I copy this more number of times. Just put a comma here also. So if you now see, it will now have 8 pages depending upon the pagination. So for third page, fourth page, fifth, seventh, eighth. This is a nice little pagination project, guys, that wanted to show you in Next.js 14. If you like it, please hit that like button. The full source code is given in the description of the video. Please hit that like button, and I will be seeing you in the next video.